On today's episode, we'll be discussing the importance of giving back. And on today, we have a special guest, Miss Erin Johnson, who will be joining us. And Thanksgiving and Christmas as well are two of my favorite holidays of the year. And with Thanksgiving, coming up, it's so important that we take time out to not only enjoy the food, our loved ones, our friends, and our families, but also to truly have an attitude of gratitude and take time to reflect and to think about the goodness of the Lord, to think about the things that we've been blessed with, the things that we've been blessed by, and not focus on what we don't have, not focus on the lack thereof, because there's so many things that we can ultimately find to be grateful for if we're intentional about looking at all of the good things that we have to be grateful and thankful for. What are your thoughts as we embark upon this Thanksgiving and this holiday season?
Well, this is also one of my favorite times of the year just because, like you said, it's about giving thanks and gathering with family, but also it's a great time to just give back. During this season all the time, I pride myself on just trying to make sure that I participate in some sort of community service activity, whether that's a toy drive or going volunteer at a food bank, or just helping someone out that is in need, because this is a time where, like you said, we are blessed to be able to gather with family and other people are not as fortunate. So it's always important to try to brighten someone's day or make them feel special during this time as well.
And so one of the things that you said, that it made me remember something that my mother would always ingrain and teach myself and my sister and my father, is we are blessed to be a blessing. And so as we are blessed, whether that's with talents, gifts, abilities, whether it's with resources, whatever that talent, skill may be, whether it's to bake pies, whether it's to cut grass, whether it's to be an educator, be a teacher, whatever it may be, whatever your talent and your skill sets are, as you continue to hone that skill, that craft, it's not just for you, it's also to help bless someone else. So it just always reminds me, especially during this time, is we're blessed to be a blessing. And also, yes, it's Thanksgiving season, and we want to be thankful, this week of Thanksgiving, but also incorporating that into our everyday. So our attitude of gratitude should not just be a 1 week occurrence. We should be living lives that are grateful. And so to me, when I think about people that are grateful, are some of the happiest people in the world. So you talk about having joy, you talk about having excitement, because they're grateful for the blessings in their life, and they choose to focus in on the positive as opposed to the negative or the lack thereof. So what do you think about the scripture? It's more blessed to give than to receive.
I think that's really great, because I know we've all probably heard the saying that if you give back to others, how you'll get your blessing. That's kind of how I interpret that. So it's not necessarily, in my eyes, when I'm giving or being a service to others, I'm not necessarily expecting anything in return. However, like you said, you get that joy and that fulfillment of knowing that you can make someone smile, you can make someone's day brighter and better. And I feel as though a lot of times as people, we get caught up in during this time, like the gifts or the lavish things you want to get or receive for Christmas, but you don't really look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that you're blessed to actually have food on your table. A lot of people don't have that. You're blessed to actually be able to go spend time with family. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily have family to spend the holidays with, like people in nursing homes or that are sick in the hospital right now. They wish they had a lot of those things that a lot of us take for granted.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so and that's so very, very true. And it kind of reminds me of, you know, if we're feeling, you know, down and out, you know, one way to pick ourselves back up is to take the focus off of ourselves. And if you just spend some time volunteering, you just spend some time helping someone else out, you doing that will ultimately help lift you up. It'll help brighten your day, your week. It'll bring joy to your soul and to your spirit. So I challenge us as well, you know, just to be mindful of, because as some people, you know, the holiday season, it's a sad time because, you know, they think about things that they don't have. They think about, you know, people that are no longer here. You know, we have COVID, the pandemic. We have a lot of unexpected, you know, loss of loved ones and friends and family. But I would challenge us to, of course, honor those people, but to celebrate them and to make sure that we keep the main focus on what we actually have and not what we don't have. So I just want, you know, everybody to be, you know, thankful and to be positive, you know, during this holiday season, and have a grateful heart, because there's so many things that you mentioned. You know, not everyone has, you know, movement in their body. Not everyone can ultimately get out and go out and do the things that they want to do. Not everyone has been blessed with a sound mind. Not everyone is blessed to see a new day. And so as we are blessed to see, you know, a new day, it's filled as well, you know, with new grace, new favor, new mercy, and new blessings, if we choose to see it that way, and if we choose to walk in those blessings. So on a lighter note, when it comes to, you know, Thanksgiving, what's some of your favorite either holiday memories or meals? What are you most excited about when it comes to Thanksgiving?
Well, the thing that I'm most excited about for Thanksgiving is the dressing. I love dressing. That is my favorite thing, with some cranberry sauce. Like, that is my favorite thing. And I would say the desserts. I love sweet potato pie. That's my favorite. And any season where I could eat gumbo, I like that too, because I love seafood.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm just really looking forward to the eating. That's my thing. I'm just gonna wear my comfortable clothes, go in the kitchen, and eat all day. That's my plans.
I hear that. I'm the same way. So Thanksgiving, definitely have to have, you know, great food. And if you don't, it's a disappointment. You know, and sometimes you have people that say they can cook, think they can cook, or you have new persons, you know, in the family that may, you know, come and want to, you know, prepare a dish. So you have newlyweds, so on and so forth, or someone may want to cook a dish, but, you know, if it's not good, at least in my family, we'll let you know as well if it's not good. So we take our dressing serious. We take, you know, all of our food serious. So I look forward to, you know, the fried turkey. Definitely cornbread dressing, and like you said, you have to have that cranberry sauce. What else? I'm a pecan pie fan. Me, sweet potato pies, it's okay, but I prefer, you know, pecan pie. So that's what I look forward to when it comes to my Thanksgiving, you know, meal per se. And so when it comes to, I guess, you know, Thanksgiving, what's a memory, I guess, that you have during Thanksgiving season that's impacted you, or that's kind of stuck out in your life?
Well, Thanksgiving is a holiday that is very intimate in my family to me. So it's something that we really, in my intermediate family, we really just gather and we go to my grandma's house and we eat dinner kind of late, because I know a lot of people eat dinner really for like brunch or like breakfast time, but we eat dinner in the afternoon. And so we really just take the time, like we do the whole thing where we sit at the table, we talk, and we really just reflect, because Now, like me and my sister, we're getting older, so we have our own lives. So it's kind of like a lot of time that too, you get lost in like what you're doing. So the holidays or just that intimate time, I would say, is my favorite memory because it's so many of them. I can't really say one, but just the time that we take to sit down at the table and just laugh and talk about whether it's our day or our week or what we were doing. And also, really, I can say this too, Black Friday shopping, we do that as well. So we'll eat dinner, everything like that, clean up the kitchen, and then we're running to the stores. However, since it's COVID, it's going to be a little bit different this year. Right. So we probably just do all of our stuff online, but it's still just going to be us doing it together. So I would say those type of memories are my favorite.
Okay. And so when it comes to, I guess Thanksgiving, at least in my family, we're kind of at a point of, I guess, transition. What I mean by that is, we've had, the matriarch of our family, my grandmother, grandparents, that have, always have instilled all of our family to come together, to gather together, as a family, to have, this Thanksgiving meal to celebrate, life together. And so they're no longer at a point where I guess they're able to be responsible, I guess, for that gathering. And so what happens is as well, you have a lot of younger families, younger individuals, and so I guess the commitment to join together is not necessarily there so much. So in your opinion, being a young adult, what impact, I guess, do you think it has to make sure that, or not make sure, that, I guess, certain traditions are continued out or continue to be carried on, and continuing to make it a point to gather together? We know that there's COVID right now, and so there's some hesitation there, which is understandable, but just in general, the importance of gathering together as a family.
I think it's very important because, like kind of what we just talked about with memories, that's kind of how you create memories. As kids, I'm pretty sure we all can say we have some memory of us. You're seeing all your cousins, you're able to laugh, play games. So you kind of want to continue that just because you want your kids to be able to experience what you experienced. And it just makes you remain close because, like I said, a lot of times in families or in general, we all have different lives. But for that particular holiday, everybody's going to make it a mission to try to gather and come together. And for, whether it's your mom's, dad, grandma's, that gives them joy seeing that it is continued because those are the things that they wanted to make sure that they instilled in us to be carried on. So I just feel like that's why it's important, and it's just a sense of togetherness that's important, that makes the holiday. So even if everybody does have different states or different jobs, things like that, if you make it a mission to get together, it kind of everything else doesn't really matter because everybody's together.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I definitely agree with that. I think it's so important to continue to celebrate together, enjoy each other, and in every family we've got our issues and discrepancies and whatever you want to call it. And so as well, during this holiday season, what I will share is that life is not promised. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and so don't allow as well small pettiness to ultimately to push you away from spending time with those that you love, those that you care about, and your family. So don't let small bickering, small pettiness ultimately come between you, because at the end of the day, so many people are unexpectedly not here, this year. And so harboring, those, thoughts and those emotions for months, for years, in certain cases, is never a good thing. And so we talk about, it being more, blessed, to give than to receive, and the importance of, giving to others. And I think that as well, that ties to me into the ability to forgive as well. So during this holiday season, I challenge us all to take time to be man and woman enough to be the bigger person and to forgive where we need to forgive others and also ourselves. Ask for forgiveness for those that we might have wronged or rubbed the wrong way, whether it's intentional or unintentional. So that's also another point of emphasis during this time that I challenge us all to kind of take time to reflect on. And so in closing, what's one, I guess, message that you want to share with others as we conclude during this holiday season?
I would say just really make it a point to think about the bigger picture. And when I say that, I just mean, like we've been talking about this whole episode, that think about giving rather than receiving, and the importance of being a blessing to others. And like you said, forgiveness. So if there is anything that's on your mind, or anything that any situation that you're in with someone in your family, just let it go, because it's all about the bigger picture. And this time is a time period for everyone to gather. It's the end of the year, so it'll be a lot of reflecting going on, and sometimes it may take you being that bigger person to realize that it wasn't even that big of an issue in the first place. So I just think that really emphasizing the importance of giving back and being there for someone, because it'll really make a difference. I've done a lot of community service in the past, and every time I go, it's a very rewarding experience, whether that's going in an assisted living home where if you give them a candy cane, they're just lighting up, or you just sit and talk to them, because they don't necessarily have the opportunity a lot to talk to people. So just small things like that will really just light someone up, and you'll feel the reward, because you'll feel great as well by giving back. Yes,
ma'am. That's a great message for our listeners, and a great challenge to all. I'll share, in closing, this example. I was in church, I guess, the other day or the other week, and there was an analogy that was given. And it talked about, when we have, sometimes we want to hoard our blessings, our resources. And so when we do that, and it's about us and our way, and making sure we protect ours and mine and this, that, and the other. And when we do that, we have closed fists, closed hands. And so as long as we have closed hands and closed fists, and we have unforgiveness in our heart, we're walking around with closed fists. So if we are also wanting to be, blessed more, or whatever you may call it, is that the only way that we can ultimately gain additional blessings is with open hands. And so we've got to be willing to open our hands and to let go of certain things so that we can receive the blessings that God has for us, and being willing to have open hands to sacrifice and to give to others, to share with an open heart and an open hand. So I just challenge us all to be open, and remember that we're all here to impact someone else, to be a blessing to others. And so take our gifts, our talents, our resources, and our abilities to help bless others. And not just because of what we may get out of it, but because that's who we are internally, and that's what we are called to do, is to help bless others. And in turn, when we do that with a clean heart and with open hands, then we'll also be blessed, as we do that, we'll also be blessed in our blessing of others.